What's going on, guys? Usbc here, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I do apologize. I've been working on my video business just a bit and it got really busy. I'm back, so I'm going to be making regularly scheduled videos. Again, it is going to drop on weekends. So if you are not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I talk a lot about tech, iPads, iPhones, and more recently I did switch to Android, switched back. I'm going to be talking about that experience as well. So if you like that kind of content, make sure that you smash the subscribe button down below. Now, Apple announced the iPad Air 4 last week, and it was literally every single thing that I've been waiting for. In fact, I made a wish list / prediction video back in July, and a lot of people did say that I don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of people said there's no leaks, you don't know what you're talking about. Apple's not going to announce anything. Why would they? I just want to let you guys know that for the most part, I was right. 90% of what I said was correct. So if you were one of those people that commented, please comment on this video with your apology. I might not accept it, but just do it. And for everybody else that believed me, thank you guys, we were right. I'm impressed with the iPad Air 4. It's a great device. It looks good. The design is good, has great specs. It really is a good device for most people, and I think that it's going to be really popular when it launches next month. However, the day that it was announced, I went to my closest Apple store and I bought an iPad Pro, the 11-inch. Before I explain why I made that decision and why I went out and purchased the Pro instead of waiting for the iPad Air 4, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I got right in the video that I posted in July. So one of the things that I mentioned was that it will have USB-C, which is really important to me. I'm glad that they did that. They put USB-C on the iPad Air 4, and that makes it a lot more future-proof. It puts it in line with Apple's other products, such as the MacBook Pro and probably the iPhone 12. I think that it ups your productivity. It means that you could use one cable for your device, your camera, your MacBook, anything, just using one cable, which is great. And I predicted that and I was right. Cha-ching. The next thing that I said was that Apple will not have Face ID, and I was correct again. They put Touch ID, which I like the way it looks. I like the way it was designed. I would have preferred the under display fingerprint sensor just because I think it looks cooler. It's a bit more practical. That touch button that they have at the top looks kind of slim, so I'm just wondering how well it will work if you have to fidget a bit. But as far as the under display fingerprint sensor, I feel like Apple's the company that could have nailed that really well. I'm not too happy that I didn't see that, but that's not the reason why I went with the Pro. Another thing that I mentioned was design will be a lot more like the iPad Pro, and I was correct again because Apple made it a little bit more squared, a little bit more industrial. It looks really good and it looks exactly like Pro, so why wouldn't I get it? Again, I'm gonna get to that, you just wait. Something that I was wrong about was that the iPad Air, I predicted that they're gonna give it the A12X, but instead they really leapfrogged the Pro and went with the A14, which is the debut. They didn't debut that on the new phones, they put it on the iPad Pro, and that's maybe because of the delay. Maybe the phones would have got that first. I don't know how it works in Apple world, but I feel like they really did a good job with putting the A14 chip on the iPad Pro. It makes it a little bit faster maybe than the iPad Pro itself. I'm gonna wait for comparisons to make my judgment, but it seems like the faster chip is in the iPad Air 4. Another thing that I mentioned was that the iPad Air 4 will not have Pro Motion, and again, was correct. They did not put Pro Motion in it. They saved it for the iPad Pro, which makes sense. You don't want to cannibalize the sales. That's something that I mentioned in the other video, and I think that Apple is really smart. They don't want to give it all the specs, and that also includes something that I predicted again, was that they will not make 4 speakers on the iPad Air 4. They're gonna go again with 2. The speakers on the Air 3, which was my favorite iPad, it had 2 speakers. They're both at the bottom, kind of annoying, but they put it on either side of the Air 4, and I'm sure it's gonna sound great. I'm gonna wait to test it when that comes out. Overall, my thoughts on the Air 4, it's a good device. It looks amazing. It has a lot of the specs of the iPad Pro. In a lot of areas, it actually beats the iPad Pro. Again, in like the specs department so far, and we gotta wait and test. Is an overall good device, and I'd recommend anybody to pick it up, really, if you're deciding between that and the Pro. But finally, the moment you've been waiting for, here is the reason why I personally did not go with the Air 4 over the Pro. and just wait for the Air 4 for it to release in October. Pro, here's the reason why. I'm Canadian. Now, if that doesn't make sense to a lot of you, I understand why. I'm gonna explain. If you're Canadian, you know exactly what the hell I mean. We pay a lot more. We end up paying a premium on a lot of things, and that's really because our dollar is weak. It's not anything of the American companies. I understand they want to make a profit. Dollar is different. You can't put the same price in Canada and the US. But it hurts. It hurts the prices that we pay just for living in Canada. Watch the announcement. I was excited with joy. I said, hey, I'm gonna pre-order it. I thought that the pre-orders would be open, but it wasn't. So I figured, let me just look at the price. The two models that they have in terms of gigabyte is 64 gig, and there is also a 256 gig iPad Air 4. As I mentioned before, I have my filmmaking business and it's really, really growing. So I needed more space on a device and something that could carry around and be more productive when I don't want to carry my laptop, which is off screen, but you can see it's connected to this display here. I wanted something that's more portable, so I needed more space. So 64 gig in Canada, the iPad Air 4 would have cost me $779. That's a lot. If I was going to go with the 256 version, that would have cost me $979. So when I looked at the price, after I finished crying, I looked at the Pro. And the Pro in Canada costs $1,049. I'm no mathematician, but that sounds like it's just $70 difference. $70. Here's a couple things that went in my mind next. One, I could get the Pro today, don't gotta wait. But two, it has ProMotion and the quad core speakers. Personally, I figured 128 gigs is a good sweet spot. Again, this is just the device I'm gonna carry around, do a little bit of my storyboards with clients, take notes, take photos of areas that I scout and all that stuff. So I need a good amount of space, but I don't need 256 gig. The ProMotion display, it's great when you're browsing the web, when you're doing things like gaming, all of those things. You could actually notice the difference with the 120 Hertz display versus the 60 Hertz, I think it's 60, that you get on the iPad Air 4. So that is my reason why I went with the Pro. If you live in Canada, I'm gonna say just go with the Pro, 70 bucks. You get the 120 Hertz display. If you live abroad and you live in like the States, for example, the price difference is more profound. It makes a lot more sense. And I'd highly recommend going with the 4 because it's just so similar to the Pro. And that's my thought. So if you like the video, guys, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.